Hi, good morning. Donita here. So I woke up this morning to a lot of redness. My dark circles are even darker. I don't know why, but regardless, I'm going to tackle those issues today. Even my dents, permanent dents, by the way, on my nose are even worse today. So I thought this would be a perfect day to tackle those things. I don't have anything else on my face other than skincare, and I think I'm going to use my Say Slip Tint. This is like my summer shade, so it's warm, but I find that adding warmth is so good for mature skin. You can see it's a little bit dark, not too terrible. Sometimes I'll mix this with another one I have that's lighter, but we're going to use this today. I think the warmth of this actually, even though it's warm, you wouldn't think so, but it does seem to tone down a little bit of that redness. And on my eyes, I'm terrible at eyeshadow, but I'm finding that creams look a lot better on my crepey eyelids. My eyes are very hooded, and so I've been using like either bronzer or Demi on my eyes. And this morning I used High Tide, and I like that warmth it gave. It's a really warm, pretty bronzer. I'm not really fond of that much warmth for my skin tone, but I think it looks good on my eyes. And then I deepen my crease a little bit with NV+1, that deep brown, and then line my eyes with it. But anyway, I think it turned out good. Oh, and then I did add just a hint of shimmer on the lid. So I'm just going to go in with my main shade, and I think I'm just going to use the spot brush today. This is a light application brush, and I like to mix a warm and a neutral for my skin. And I don't put it everywhere. I just focus it on the redness and areas of distraction, like my nose, my cheeks, and my chin. But I've got a couple of other things up my sleeve to tackle the redness too. So, and I'm finding I love Demi. It's a learning curve for sure, but and I get redness up here. I have some scarring, but there's a learning curve with Demi, but the results are worth it. So that looks a little better. Again, I don't want a lot of layers, so I'm using a very light application brush. And then I do always like to go in. I'm not going to tap this on the red areas, but I do like to pick up any excess product. There's so many tips and tricks you need to know, I found, for mature skin that's not true to, you know, like 30-year-olds doing their makeup. So now I'm going to add bronzer and then some blush, and the final step will be correction. So I'm going to stick with using the shape brush again and go in with my Bella bronzer, just focusing it on the perimeter. I don't think I'm going to contour today. I just need to get some makeup on and get out the door. So the weather has been crazy here and everywhere else. Every day I've been checking the weather, and it's different every day. You know, used to you could judge the weather for the week on one day, and I think it's just crazy everywhere. I don't know what that means. Actually, I will contour a little bit with some Demi, but that just added just a little bit of warmth. I like to put some in my temples because I'm hollowing out there, and so I have these veins. Okay, that looks better. And now let's use, this is that NV+1 I talked about, And I like to use it as a contour, but I like to focus it just right back here. I like it subtle, and I don't go very far in, but I just want a little bit of definition there. My face is falling, gravity's kicking in, and I had chubby cheeks, but now I still have a little bit of chub, but now it's down here. So I like to add a little definition here, and then it mimics the best shadow for the jaw. So I go in front of that jowl, and then this light area I darken, because that's where you see like my turkey neck and those jowls going down. I've been looking for facial exercises. I've seen a lot of women starting to do some. I know Kara Brooke, the founder of Saint, she's doing facial exercises. And so I found a couple I've been doing, mainly for hooded eyes, but I haven't found any for like jowls, and I would love to find one for that. So if you see anything like that, or know if a good exercise, I'd love to hear about it. Okay, that looks better. I don't contour my nose because I have so much going on there. And then now let's add some lip and cheek. And my favorite is R5, and it's kind of dirty. I know you look at it and you're like, boy, that's like, it's Barbie pink, but it is so pretty. And it's just like 90% pigment and beeswax. And the beeswax gives it such a pretty sheen. And it's like, you know, after you've worked out, you know, been real hot, you get that flush, and it's just so pretty. Sometimes I deepen out here a little bit with bronzer or contour, but we'll just leave it. I've got weird texture going on too right there. And then I like a little blush on my nose. And then I also like some on the high peaks. Okay, there we go. And I like to top, this is a shimmer gloss, and it's called La Cienega. Let's see if I can, but it's just got a hint of gold shimmer. So pretty. And I like to top that on my apples. And because it's a gloss, it just gives that real pretty sheen. And I think by adding that on the apples, it's youthful. It's kind of, okay, so now we'll do our lips at the end, but now let's start doing a little bit of correcting. So the first thing I want to correct is some of this redness, and I get carried away with the blush, so I accentuate some of that redness sometimes. I'm going to take, this is like a yellow, it's called NY-1, and these -1 shades are, they're very powerful. I assume the -1 is less pigment, but they work very well. So I'm using just that small end of my spot, or my shape brush, and I'm just tapping along. It's, you know, our eyeballs as we age sink into our skull. So I've got a little shadow there, but that's also where I have a lot of redness. And it just tones it down. And then it also works well on my chin. let's change brushes. And I like the bright brush. The two I like for Demi are the bright and the spot. And I mean, they're much different, but the spot brush I love to use, especially I get a light area here and I'll darken it with a little bit of that MV+1. And I still need to do a little, no, I'm not even gonna get started on that. I'll never stop. So now, let me get it out. We're going to start correcting the under eyes. So this is NR-1. And I know you look at it and you're like, that's just some beige shade. But I refer to it as a toning shade or a blurring shade. And I'll use the fluffy end of my bright brush, and I just do a wash, just a light wash under the eyes. You can already see it calmed down that darkness there. And what I think it does, it's like, you know, a toner for your hair. Not that I'm a hair girl, but it tones those colors there. It lightens the darks and darkens the lights, so they're not so noticeable. So I love this shade. So this dark circle isn't as dark as the other one, and I can get away with just that. Look at how, I mean, that looks so much better. Some people use this shade for redness. It doesn't quite, actually there it sure did. But I really like this shade. So if you want a Demi, I would recommend that shade, and then a correcting shade, like to correct the darkness. So my dark circles, they're usually, they have blue in them. So the opposite on the color wheel, blue is orange. So I would always recommend some form of orange depending on your skin tone. So this is called 03, Orange 3, and I'm going to use that small end of the bright brush. And sometimes this color isn't enough for the darkness, especially under this eye. So I'm going to add another color there. This one is barely noticeable. I mean, just that one little dot did it over there, so we're not going to use any more over there. But since it didn't correct completely this dark circle, I'm going to go to Y01, Yellow Orange 1. The added yellow tone will tackle any of that other darkness. That's probably a purple. Yellow is the opposite of like a purple. So see, so good. And that's really all I do to my under eyes. I just am amazed every day at Demi. And already my face is looking in balance, and I feel better. And that's the magic of makeup, really. You know, we want to feel better and look better. So now I've been using this shade a lot, and it's just a straight yellow, Yellow 1. And to actually tackle these 11s, sometimes I use a light orange, but a lot of times the yellow actually will tackle, and it just tones down the 11s. It's nothing, you know, crazy. And then I like this for the dents. So I need more yellow for these dents than the NY-1. And I'm just using such a small amount, and that's the key. That my under eyes won't crease. I will set them with some setting powder, and then I just corrected this little dent I have from a skin cancer I had. And see, that also brightened between my brow. it's just already looking so much better. Okay. I like to add a little bit of bronzer to my nose, just to add some more, just here on the tip. Okay. I think we're looking better. I do think I need more blush, though. What do you think? Can never have enough blush, right? I may add a little bit of bronzer to the back here. Clean my little brush off. Boy, I don't know if you can hear the wind. I have a wind chime there that I always know when it's getting real windy. And I think we're looking pretty better. I'm not going to say great, but better. And now let's set. So I have been using a brush to set the under eyes. Sometimes I use a sponge, but I'm just going to spray the brush. I don't want too much setting spray because it will just take away all the work I just did. But I'll just go in and lightly tap that setting spray. And I usually powder my T-zone, but I don't think I need it today. I must have some dry skin. And this is Charlotte Tilbury, whatever it's called, Airbrush Flawless Filter. Was a long word. But I love Saint setting spray. I'm just out. It is very moisturizing. It's great for dry skin, and I like it in the winter time, but I'm out and I haven't had a new one come in yet. So this is like hairspray for the face. And now let's do some lips. So I typically just line my lips with a liner. I ordered these e.l.f. lip liners, $2. The only thing I recommend is saving the package because they don't have the name on it. Not that it matters. I never look at the name anyway. Okay, and then I go in with that gloss, the La Cienega. This is our Vanilla Dust setting powder. It's very finely milled. And after I put the creams on my eye, I will go in. I used just a small fluffy brush and just lightly set this. And I like it because it won't add texture, because it's so finely milled. We'll go ahead and put a little bit right here. This is where I get shiny. And then I'm a face toucher, so I'll usually add a little in here. And that's it, because I want my cheeks glowy. Okay, so I don't know how my bangs are going to look. Probably terrible. I need to let them grow out, but I keep messing with them. I want pretty curtain bangs, but I don't have them. My hair's real fine. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.